Welcome back. It's Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here for you tonight or today, this morning, whenever you're listening to this. I guess it's kind of tonight for us. The sun's still out, so that's kind of nice. But
It's not.
Oh, I don't know.
You want it to be dark now.
Yeah.
But at 6 a.m., light is good.
Yeah. We need that sunlight in the morning, not now. I also wouldn't know because I have to pull the shades in this room when we record because otherwise the glare fucks up everything. You know what I mean? The lighting already is tough enough in this room. Like sometimes I look like I'm in a fucking hostage video. Like my face gets really dark because it's the only light in this room is actually behind me. So when I shift angles, sometimes if you're a YouTube watcher or if I ever wear a hat while we're recording, it's sometimes like I said, it looks like I'm trying to hide my identity, but it's just, it is what it is. It's the lighting in this room. What can you do? It's not a studio. we're a very low budget podcast in case it took you 444 episodes to figure that out. I think this is 443. 444 will be next. So technically we've crossed that mark and we're over 450 because we did those degenerate specials early on. But anyway, speaking of degenerates in sports, we got a hot topic right out of the gate here. Lay it on me.
So I'm very frustrated with professional golf right now. And it's twofold. I'm very frustrated with actual professional golf, and I'm very frustrated with golf media and golf idiots.
Okay. I know where this is going, and I'm actually glad. I'm not trying to sidetrack you here, but we've talked in the last week, but we haven't talked about this specifically because I wanted to get a fresh take on it. And I'm glad to see where you're headed with this.
So number one part of my frustration is still this PGA Tour versus Live thing. And it's just people cannot let it go. Just let it fucking exist.
Yeah.
If you don't want to watch it, cool. I don't need to know that you don't want to watch it. Just don't watch it.
Right.
That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, I'm also kind of frustrated because I don't mind the product. If you want to get into the Saudi Arabia shit, I'm not smart enough to know where all the money comes from. Because I had a guy at the gym and he was I'll never watch a second of Live because I cannot understand where the money's coming from. I'm like, bro,
did you ask him if he stayed at Hilton hotels?
Didn't bother. Did not bother.
we spent a whole episode finding out what else
and it's
the Saudi Arabian government.
In order to not be a hypocrite, I'm not smart enough to know. So
right,
whatever.
Fair.
But now, today's playoff was Brendan Steele, Danny Lee, and fucking I don't even know who. And it's so now Liv's product sucks because you can't even get the big names to win there. And I'm
yeah.
Golf's in a weird place. I don't know. And I think Liv should probably just lean into the partying, the private jets, the shorts, the hooded sweatshirts. They should probably just lean into that side and just become the heel.
Yeah, go full heel.
Just become the NWO or DX, whatever it is. They should just become the heel.
Absolutely.
And embrace it.
I agree with you on that.
But moving away from that, because that's, probably being a dead horse. It just combines with my frustration.
It's frustrating.
We have what came out this past week that the USGA and the RNA are going to look into bifurcation. Or I guess, yeah, I think they're looking into bifurcation.
Yep.
So what the fuck is bifurcation? Bifurcation is a different set of rules for professionals versus amateurs, specifically speaking, the golf ball. So they want to roll the golf ball back for professionals and elite amateurs in an attempt to put a cap on distance. Now, you may be asking why. And there's a few reasons why they want to do this. One, I think they like control. Now, it's a little bit tinfoil hatty. I think
that's a fair point.
They just want to put get their hands on something that they don't need to get their hands on.
Yep.
Now, if you look past that, some reasons why rolling the ball back is desirable to some people. Some people don't like viewing the PGA Tour, and they want guys to hit longer clubs, harder shots. They call it quote unquote shot making. The idea and the argument they always use is that they want to see guys have to hit like driver 3-wood, driver 4-iron, like more often. And they say that every par 5 is driver wedge. And it's like, if you actually, so the flaw in the that's the argument. They don't like that everything has just become either bomb and gouge or driver short iron. They want these guys to hit longer clubs. So there's a few flaws with that logic. Number one, it's not the case. They're cherry picking certain things that they don't like, and they're using that as their argument.
Right.
Number two, because I'm not going to go too far into that, because it's a flawed logic. So the flaw in the logic is that the logic is flawed.
Is that a straw man fallacy?
I don't know what that is. It's just fucking wrong. Like,
yeah.
Like, there are statistics out there that show that is not the case. These guys have plenty of like long shots in.
Right.
Number two, the equipment has actually changed over time, and people go, yeah, it goes further. No, it does not go further. They were able to take the loft of an 8-iron, for example. Well, it's really the loft of everything. They were able to decrease the loft, change the center of mass, get and accomplish the same launch character or optimal launch characteristics with a stronger club.
Right.
So when these guys hit 8-iron into a par 5 and they're hitting it from fucking 180, yeah, back in the day, 180 was a 6-iron.
Right. Yeah.
Because they've made the lofts stronger. Like the club companies, technology, physics, they found a way to take a shorter club and make it go further over time.
So if anybody like is confused out there, basically, if you play golf, or if you don't play golf, anything about the clubs, they're all numbered, right? But then you might notice that as they get to the shorter clubs, which are the wedges, the numbers disappear, and then the numbers just get bigger, right? So they go like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then all of a sudden you're looking at like 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, all the way up to 60, 64, whatever. So those wedges are actually named for the degree of the club. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see my hand. Like if something was a 90-degree club, it would actually probably be like
it would be completely flat.
But if it's a 0-degree, or a lot of times with putters are like 3 degrees.
They're like 3, 1 to
3.
So
it's not quite flat, but it's basically flat. So then everything goes in between. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, so like a 3-iron might be, 18 degrees of loft. And then it goes up from there. So if, like you said, if 60 years ago a 6-iron went 180 yards, maybe that was I'm just making numbers up here, but maybe that was a 30-degree lofted club, right? But now that the 8-iron goes 180, maybe that is a 27-degree lofted club, right? So the loft is stronger, but they, like you said, they changed the center of mass, so now the ball goes further. It's technology, right? It's what happens.
It's technology, and it's just a stamp on the bottom of the club. Like that's the problem. Like people are like, oh, no one hits 6-iron into greens anymore, and it's like, yeah, that's because an 8-iron flies as far. Jack Nicklaus's fucking 6-iron is today's fucking 8 or 9-iron,
right?
Both in terms of loft and how the ball flies,
right? And it's like you can't do this, right? Because we don't have a time machine. But if you gave Jack Nicklaus an 8-iron from today to play with back then, he would probably hit it
He'd hit it
about
just as
180.
far as they do now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he was a bomber back in the day. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. People don't want to acknowledge that either.
Right.
The reason he was so much better than everyone is because he hit it fucking further than them all.
Yeah. Same thing with
And
Tiger.
was supremely talented.
Yeah. The exact same thing with Tiger. I mean, I'm sure I don't know this for a fact, but I'm sure they did it with Jack. They literally changed the layout of some of the courses because of Tiger. Right. Like if in particular at Augusta, what is that, 11 or 14, one of those holes? They added trees on the right-hand side.
It was 11.
It was 11. Yeah. They added trees.
And then when he won in 2019, he just fucking threw it in the alley over those trees.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, people forget, right, that he was so fucking good and he could hit it so much further than everyone else that they literally had to change the layout of the courses specifically for him to make it harder. So like I said, I don't know for a fact they did that with Jack, but I'm sure some courses did back then, but it's the game. It's how it changes and it's technology, right? It's like, it's old. This is what happens when old white guys bitch about stuff. It's literally old man yelling at a cloud.
Well, don't let off the architecture crowd, which I'm still going to get to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little bit of the architecture crowd too.
Yeah. So I can't say I got into it. I had the beginnings of a discussion that never actually went anywhere because they just sent me to their Instagram page. But the guys from the Fried Egg podcast.
Oh God, yeah, they're architecture people. So let me before you get to the Fried Egg, I'll get to the architecture side of things.
Okay.
So another argument is that classic golf courses can't reasonably hold championships anymore because they're not long enough. So if you dial the ball back, you can bring back some of these places. The only problem is these places ain't coming back. They are not coming back. I fucking assure you they are not. Because when you talk about like old major championship venues, I don't know which ones because I'm not that much of a fucking nerd. I know which ones people like, but I don't know which ones like sustainably like you can whatever. But like I think maybe Scioto. I could be making that up. And I don't actually know how to pronounce that. That's where Jack Nicklaus grew up.
They want to bring back Willamette.
Well, whatever the fuck they want, like.
But it's like how you say it, or is it Willamette?
Well, Francis Willamette.
No, what's the one that you played at up on the North Shore?
Oh, Myopia.
Myopia. That's what I knew. It had a weird name.
But the problem is with some of these places is they don't have the infrastructure for the crowds, the media, the players. Like they don't have that stuff. Like they don't have a footprint. So it's not the length of the golf course. It's not about adding tee boxes or making it shorter or whatever. It's the infrastructure that goes with hosting an event that they can't do. So some of these places that these people want to see again, you're never fucking seeing them again. It's not happening.
Right.
Now, if you want to tell me that Southern Hills got a little clunky because they put some tee boxes where you had to hit over greens and shit like that, sure, that's clunky. I'll give you that. It's a little goofy. Should it be like that? Probably not. Does rolling the ball back 10% change anything? Nope. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It really fucking doesn't. I fucking promise you that. So the architecture people for championship venues, they want to see some things get back into possibilities. And I don't think that's happening. And then they try to parlay that into like everyday courses or everyday memberships need to keep adding land. But the amateur game, that's not pertinent to the amateur game. It's not relevant. It's not real. Like,
right.
Sharon Country Club is not adding tee boxes to deal with length.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Amateurs don't hit the ball too far.
No.
And that's in the USGA distance insight thing.
Yeah. The average scratch golfer.
Probably 240.
I was going to say 270 is the average drive. No.
Way too high. Way too high.
I just read it this morning. I started reading the 4 foundations of golf.
I'm fairly certain that average scratch golfer is 240 off the tee.
Yeah, it could be because a 20 handicap is 209.
Yeah. And I think the average male is 225.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So scratch is probably 240 then. You're right.
I think it's 240. 270, I think, is way too far.
270 might be tour. Is that tour average?
Could be.
Yeah.
I think tour average is probably closer to 80 now. I also don't know what year he was referencing for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then and then they go, well, do you really want Augusta National buying more land? What the fuck do I care? What do I care what Augusta National does?
Yeah.
Like, I give a fuck that they had to buy more land.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
And guess what? They bought more land, and dudes are hitting 5-iron into that green.
Yeah.
You know why? Because a 5-iron's about the loft of a fucking 2-iron from back then.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that they're hitting, fuck.
Yeah, it's
so that's the architecture crowd. So the fried egg specifically, they get into the architecture stuff.
Yeah, so they, like I said, I would say I tweeted at them, right? Because it wasn't an argument, it wasn't a beef, it wasn't even a back and forth. So they tweeted and they go, if you're opposed to the regulations set forward by the USGA and RNA, then why should there be any regulation in golf? Why not have drivers and golf balls that fly perfectly straight and 500 yards? So I ignored the second half of that, which is ridiculous hyperbole. I was going to be a dick, but I decided to go the civilized route. Weird for Twitter. Because I actually looked at the stats, and the average drive has gone up, I think, 11 yards on tour. This is on the tour average, has gone up 11 yards in the last 10 years. So I was going to reply and say, well, if you want a driver that goes 500 yards, you're going to need, whatever, like fucking 265 more years before we get there, according to the trends. But I didn't put that in, like, trying to be a little bit civil. So I replied to that and I go, I know Twitter isn't the first place to go for civil discussion, but would you be willing to explain how this is a good thing? My initial thoughts point to a less exciting product with top guys hitting at sub 300 instead of 315 and more. And also, doesn't this hurt the average players more also? Guys that average 280 to 290 will now be sitting at 270, but the bombers still hit 290 plus. So like, you're still going to have the disparity, right? So if a guy like Rory McIlroy, who averages, I think on tour this year, I think he's averaging 326, which is really, really fucking high. That'll come back a little bit. Because the highest on average last season, I think, was 321 or 322. And like I said, it's gone up about 1 yard a year for the last like 10 years. So like I said, that 326 will probably come back a little bit. But so if you have Rory that averages 326 and you have a guy like Brian Harman, right, that averages 280, and you roll the ball back, okay, well, now Rory can hit it 310, right, instead of 326. Well, now Brian Harman, instead of hitting it 280, is going to hit it 265, 270. So like, the disparity is still there for like the people that are like, oh, it's bad for the game, like whatever, all this stuff. By pulling back the top guys, you're actually kind of fucking the guys that are average, that don't hit it long, like, so I don't like that part of it either. And I think that's lame. No one wants to go out there and watch Rory McIlroy absolutely pipe a driver and have it go 298. Right? Like, that's fucking stupid.
Well, people do.
Yeah, old fucking losers. Like, absolute fucking losers, right? It's the same. It's not the same, but it's similar to the whole thing with baseball, right? Like, when was baseball the best? In the 90s, right? The whole thing, chicks dig the long ball. Like, that's a legitimate thing. Like, people love the explosion, the big play, no one's getting fucking excited about a pinch runner going in the third inning so the team can do a hit and run and then bunt a guy over it. No one gives a fuck about that anymore in base. Like, it doesn't get people excited. People get excited when you fucking hit a home run over the green monster and land it on the Mass Pike.
What were some of the most exciting singular events, not results, not performances, singular events in the last 3 years, say?
In golf?
In golf.
I mean, Tiger in 19.
No, so
Right.
that's a result. That's a performance.
Okay.
What I'm going with is Bryson driving the fucking trying to drive a par 5 and fucking won.
Yes. Yeah.
And like
Bryson,
every time he got there, it's like, get the cameras on this guy.
Right.
What's he going to do next?
I forget what course they were at, but there was one.
Well, Bay Hill, he drove it over the water.
Yeah, he hit it over the water. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He hit his drive like 420 or something.
Something crazy. And it's like, that was super compelling because he did it.
Right.
And then some of the other stuff. He goes, I might bring a 48-inch driver out to Augusta. Like, okay. He goes, on 13, I'm just going to try to hit it through everything. Like, those were some, like, that was some of the, that was some of the biggest talking points.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's, you know, when Dustin Johnson was at his peak and he was winning, he was hitting the ball further than everybody else, right? Like he was absolutely nuking the ball. Rory, now that he's found, well, you can't really say he's back because he hasn't really won anything. Well, he won the CJ Cup or something in like
he won in the fall.
But okay, I'll give you that. But I wouldn't say he's back. He's not back to his, 2013 form. But he's like inching back to what he used to be. And he's absolutely fucking nuking the ball further than everybody. Like, that's what people want to see. That's what people get excited for. People love Rory right now, and he crushes the ball. People love DJ, 4 or 5 years ago because he was nuking the ball. People love Bryson because he did exactly what you said. Hit it over the water on Bay Hill and fucking hit a drive 420. Like, do people get excited about Brian Harmon?
No.
Do people get excited about
Webb Simpson?
Right? What about Jonathan? Well, Jonathan Vegas does kind of hit it a little bit long, but
he hammers the ball. Don't worry about it. He's not that good. People still talk to this day about Zach Johnson being the worst Masters champion.
Yeah.
And why? He laid up on every par 5.
Yeah. Because he doesn't hit the ball far enough.
And the weather fucking sucks. So great strategy for that tournament specifically, but everyone hated it. Everyone hated that tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
So what did the Friday? What did they even say?
So that's what I said. I go, it'll hurt the average guys, and I go, but I recognize I might be ignorant to your point. So they replied to me and goes, Andy actually did a video on it explaining that idea on our Instagram page, and they sent me the link to it. So I'll play it. Really, it's not that long. It might only be like 45 seconds, but I'll play the video that they linked me to and see what you have to say.
Today from the USGA and the RNO that would really limit the golf ball. I mean, we aren't talking huge changes here. We're talking 15, 20 yards for the very top end of the PGA Tour college ranks of men's golf. There's two opinions here. Yeah, they aren't doing enough, or hey, they're doing too much. The game of golf is so popular right now. I personally fall under they should do a little bit more, but this is a really good change for golf. We see with regularity 320-yard drives on the PGA Tour, and really we need to make long par 4s exist again. They just frankly don't exist. We have to have par 4s in the 500 and plus yard range for them to even have a chance of putting a mid-iron in a player's hands. If you boil this down, and let's just use 320 yards as a long player. Let's just look at a 480-yard par 4. This used to be a really long par 4 that would make everybody hit at least a mid-iron into it. If we take 20 yards off the 320-yard driver of the golf ball, they're left with 180 yards in. That's probably going to be a 7-iron or a 6-iron. Right now, at 320 yards, 480, they hit 320 on a 480-yard hole. They're hitting a 9-iron in. Now take an average player on tour, 300 yards, 20 less yards. They're hitting it 280. They're going to have 200 yards in. We're going to actually see these guys hit 5-irons with consequence outside of par 3s. The problem right now is outside of maybe one one long par 3 on a golf course, we never see a long iron of consequence. I hope that the PGA Tour takes this rule and implements it. It will make what the players have been talking about a lot. We want to improve our product. This will improve the product because there will be a wider variety of shots hit by the best players in the world. And that's a big win for golf fans. It's also a big win for talented golfers. The most talented golfers, when you ask them to hit more shots, are going to rise to the top. You know, this is a really good first step to reining in the distance problem in the professional game of golf.
No, there is no distance problem. Right. So what are your initial thoughts on that?
It comes from a particular golf fan.
Yeah.
So it's someone that's in that architecture, shot making, artistry point of view.
Right.
You guys are already golf fans. You're going to watch regardless, whether you fucking like it or not. If you want to get casual golfers involved, it's not what they fucking hit in the greens. They don't care.
Right.
It doesn't actually matter.
I guarantee you, if I go out right now and ask Amy if she would rather watch Rory hit an 8-iron into the green or a 4-iron into the
She
green,
could give a flying fuck.
she's like, I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter. I'm more than a casual golf fan, and that doesn't matter to me. Because, like, it's still really fucking hard to hit a green with an 8-iron from 170 yards. You know what I mean? Like, that's not easy to do. You know, so the cool thing, and I'm going to wait before I get super deep into talking about the book, because I'm about 100 pages in. And there's 400 pages, a little bit more than that in the book. So I'm literally just about 25% through it. Well, that's the 4 Foundations of Golf by John Sherman. It's pretty good so far. Like I said, I won't get too much into it. The beginning is fine. I'm more into like the actual stuff now, but I'll talk about that later. But the interesting stuff that he talks about is a lot of the stuff, or similar to the stuff that Lou Stagner talks about on Twitter, where it's statistical, you know, from the fairway, 180 yards out. The tour average is 20 yards from the pin, right? So that's pretty fucking hard. If you have a pin that's tucked, you know, front right, or like, you know, wherever it is, if it's tucked to one side or front or back of the green, if it's not middle, basically, like the average is 20, I think it's 20 feet or something.
It's way more than
20,
that.
no, 20 yards, 20 yards.
It's somewhere. I don't know
I'm
what the
going to have
number
to
is.
go get, I almost brought the book with me.
I don't know what the number is,
but it's not close.
60 feet's too far for average. 60 feet's too far. Wait, 180. Yeah, I think 60 feet is too far, because
I think it's pretty close.
Maybe it is
to
60 feet.
I'm
I'm
pretty
thinking
sure.
if you miss a green,
Yeah,
20 feet's too close.
but it's 20 yards like radius, right? Like it's
so 10 aside.
No. That would be diameter. It's 20-yard radius. So it's like within 20 yards of the pin is usually where the ball lands for a tour pro from 180 yards in the fairway.
We'll go with it. I don't know if it's right or wrong.
But like
it could
that's
be.
not super close, right?
No,
like
it's not.
So if you're inside of that, that's above average, right? Because I'm at the part of the book where he just introduced strokes gained and like kind of how it works and shit like that. But like people don't take that into effect. And one of the things that John Sherman talks about in the book, and he uses in the context of why people get so frustrated with their own golf game, is the TV product ruins how we think golf actually goes. And he says this in the book. He goes, what they show on TV basically is a highlight reel. They're going to show you the best players hitting the best shots, closest to the pin, making incredible shots, you know, whatever. And then when you get to the weekend, you're watching the leaders, right? Who are playing the best on the course that weekend because they're the leaders, right? So they're making the shots, they're hitting that. And he goes, you're not seeing the guy who went out and shot a 79, right? You're not seeing shots from the guy who had a really bad day and shot an 82. Like you're seeing the highlights from the guy that went out and shot the 67. And he talks about like there are pros that go out there and have bad days. And again, his angle that he comes at it from is like manage your expectations type of deal, like with your own golf game. But I could easily take that same information and show it to these guys, whether it be the fried egg guys or just that people of that ilk, right? To be like, you're overreacting. Because like this, there isn't a distance problem, right? And it's already hard enough. Like, oh, you in particular want to see a guy hit a 6-iron into a green instead of an 8-iron. Okay, well, as it stands now, that 8-iron lands within a 20-foot radius on average, or 20-yard radius on average. So now you want to see guys, you know, if you're hitting a 6-iron from 15 yards back or 20 yards back, now you want to increase that to what? Maybe a 30-yard radius? Like now you're going to get guys like hitting their approach shot, going into the bunkers. Like it's not going to be as exciting from a fan standpoint, right? Like, again, as a fan, this would be a great episode to have the couch mic for Amy to ask her, like, as a casual fan, would you rather watch a guy go out and shoot a 65 or hit longer irons and shoot a 70? Right. But like everyone shoots higher. You know what I mean? So it's like, I guarantee you should be like, yeah, I'd rather see the 65. Right.
Ask
like
Rory.
Yeah.
He says bogeys aren't good. Not good for golf.
They're not. Like, because part of it too, right? Part of the allure, there's a couple things here with when it comes to golf. Part of the allure with golf is that we play the exact same stuff that they play, right? Not to a degree, right? Like some people do, right? Like if you play with a Pro V1 ball, right? That is what like 62% of the guys on tour play with the exact same Pro V1 ball that's developed in fucking Fairhaven or Acushnet in Massachusetts, like 25 miles from where I live. Like they're all produced there. The same balls that those guys use are the same balls that we use. The Stealth 2 driver that, you know, maybe someone wants to spend $600 on is the same Stealth 2 driver that Rory and Colin Morikawa and Scottie Scheffler, they all use it. Tiger, like it's the exact same stuff, right? Like, and that's attractive to people because they're like, wow, this is really cool. Like I can use the exact same thing. Like someone who's a NASCAR fan can't hop in their car and be like, oh yeah, it's a fucking, you know, whatever. I don't even know if they're V12s, but they're definitely V8s. But there's this like massive fucking engine in a car that goes 200 plus miles an hour. Your car can't do that, right? Like if you're going to go play recreational softball or you want to be a high school baseball coach or middle school baseball coach, like you can't step up to the mound and throw a 96 mile an hour fastball. Like it's not going to happen, right? Like it's so it's like some of it is kind of the same, some of it's not, but like golf is literally the exact same equipment. So some people like that, right? The other thing is you want to watch people do stuff that you can't do, right? Again, the allure, we'll go back to baseball. The allure of baseball is the guy that throws 103 miles an hour, Aroldis Chapman, right? He can throw 103 miles an hour. That's fun. That's sexy, right? Why? Because regular people can't do that. If they change something with the baseball or what did something, right, to make guys throw, you know, in the low to mid 80s, that's not as cool, right? Like my buddy Neil played Division II. I don't know what Stonehill was in with baseball when he was there, but played Division II baseball. He could probably throw the ball at least 85 miles an hour, like somewhere in the 80s, right? Like Do I want to watch a guy in the major leagues throw the ball the same that like the guy that I hang out with can do? Like, that's not as cool, right? Like, do I want to go watch Scottie Scheffler hit a drive, 290 when, I can play with you, or sometimes with Vinny, right? Like sometimes Vinny can absolutely pipe one, or Bill, like, and you can hit it like 280, 290. Like, that's not as cool, right? Like, you want to see the guys you want to see them do stuff that regular people can't do. Like, why, like, it's different, up here with high school football versus like, down south, because they're real men, not boys. But like, for the most part, what's the allure to the NFL versus high school football? Like, why is high school football up here not popular? Because the people are smaller, they're slower, they're not as good, right? Like, you watch guys in the NFL, they're fucking huge and they're fast, right? Like, you want to watch guys. Randy Moss, right? Ran a 4.25 something 40, like one of the fastest motherfuckers ever to play wide receiver. That was fun. That was sexy, right? You want to watch Randy Moss blow by people. You want to watch who else is a fast wide receiver in the NFL, right? I don't know why I'm blanking on names, but like
Tyreek Hill.
You want to watch Tyreek Hill just absolutely dust dudes. Like, it's not cool to watch a guy run like a 4.5 as a wide receiver. Like, that's like it, you know what I mean? Like, it's not fun. Like, it doesn't do anything for the fans. So yeah, but go ahead, roll the ball back, make it so guys, can't hit it as far. So also, to their point in that video, that guy Andy said that there's too many guys that can hit it 320 or average 320. While he was going, I looked it up on PGA stats.
Let me guess, 3.
2.
Oh, because Bryson's gone.
Rory McIlroy right now averages 326 with the driver. Brandon Matthews is in second at 320, and Cam Young is third at 315.
And is this total distance?
No, this is average.
Or is this carry?
This is just driving distance.
Okay, that's total distance.
That's total distance.
Yep. Because the other thing they could do is not make the fucking fairways a fucking springboard.
Yeah. Soften the fairways.
Yeah. Keep them longer.
Yeah, that's
then the
true
ball
too.
won't go as far.
Keep the fairways longer. So, like I said, water them more. Like it's
sustainability.
Yeah.
You're gonna piss those people off now too.
So there's too many guys on tour that average 320. Was literally what they said, right? That's right. That was his quote. It's a direct quote. Too many guys average 320. There's 2.
Yep.
That's too many, apparently. Now we have to change the entire fucking sport.
We have to change this. We have to change professional golf for Brendan Matthews.
Yeah. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Right? I just don't understand it. And there are the players hate it. I haven't seen one.
They don't want to hit the ball shorter.
I haven't seen one player on tour come out in favor of this. JT has come out. JT has been pretty vocal. Justin Thomas, for anyone that doesn't know, has been very vocal against it. The Acushnet company, which is the parent company of Titleist and FootJoy, they wrote like I won't say a scathing response, but they wrote a very strongly worded response to the USGA and the R&A, and JT actually retweeted it. So, I think Rory has come out and said it would be stupid. I haven't heard anything about Scottie, but Scottie doesn't really talk much anyway.
The Hoff came out.
Yeah. Charlie Hoffman,
Keegan Bradley.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't seen one tour pro come out in favor of this. Because it's a stupid idea.
It's because it doesn't matter. Like the selfish wants of a small population are driving this, and it's not relevant. So really, to kind of move on a little bit, but stay on topic. So we can bifurcate or we cannot, right? Because some people have said bifurcation is stupid. If you want to roll the ball back, even though I don't agree, that's better than bifurcate. So everyone hits a ball shorter. Now, why would you want to do that for the amateur? You wouldn't. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It really doesn't.
Right.
And then you have to then you would have to also change some stuff. So, if we're going to play the same, like, so if we're on tour and you're going to play the same tees and you're going to have longer balls into greens, you need to make the greens bigger. Because a ball that's designed to catch a shot from 180 with the dispersion of a 7-iron is not the same dispersion as a 5-iron. So you have to make the greens bigger if you're going to ask them to hit longer clubs in, which is the same thing for the amateur game. So unless you're going to move the tees up and start and like redo everything, like it just seems like an unnecessary type of thing. So that would be like if you roll it back for everybody.
Right.
The other thing that's not clear is when the USGA and the R&A come out and say we're going to roll the ball back for professionals and elite amateurs, blah, blah, they never said men. They didn't specify.
That's weird.
So they're going to make women who have no issues with distance.
Yeah.
You're going to make them play a fucking rolled back ball? Why? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
They already hit long clubs into greens and whatever.
Right.
So, okay, so you can move them up. So you can play shorter venues if that's what you want. But like if they're going to do this rollback, they better make it for just men. Because they have not specified and the women do not need a rollback. They for sure do not hit it too far.
Yeah. So I just looked up some stuff from Lou Stagner. From 175 yards in the fairway, a Tour Pro hits it inside of 30 feet to the pin. So that's if you draw that would be a 30-foot radius, right? So a circle around with a 60-foot diameter.
Yeah.
52% of the time. So I would say on average,
that's good. Holy shit.
They're more likely than not from 175 yards in the fairway to get it inside of 30 feet.
Yeah. So that means their average proximity is around 30.
Right. Right. So they're really fucking good. From 175 yards in the fairway for a 5 handicap, they get it inside of 30 feet 21% of the time. So less than half of what a Tour Pro does. So it's like, do you want to watch the Tour Pros play like 5 handicaps? Like, is that what you want? Right? Like, is that a roundabout way of saying like that's what these people want? They want to see more difficulty going into the green. They want to see more missed greens.
These people are insufferable. That's the thing. These people, they're just, like I said, it's a selfish desire of a very small population because they care about what club gets hit into 13 at Augusta.
Yeah.
I don't either. I really fucking don't.
I guarantee
you know what I care? You know what
I
care about on 13 and 15 at Augusta? I care about where's the fucking leaderboard and what are those people doing? Like, does someone have an eagle putt?
Right.
I don't care how they got there.
Yeah. – So people are fucking assholes, and they're gonna ruin the game if they move forward with it.
I hope that a few certain things happen. Number one, I hope that the PGA Tour does not adopt this rule. Because
Agreed.
then if they don't adopt the rule, then there is no rule, because the USGA won't say, okay, well, for the US Open and for the Open Championship, you got to use this other ball. That's idiotic.
Yeah.
I also hope that the equipment manufacturers just go, nah, we're not going to make a tour ball.
Yeah.
Because the pros don't pay for the balls.
Right.
So if they have to put R&D and production into a tour ball for people that don't pay for their equipment, who do you think pays for that R&D?
Right. We do.
We pay.
So your $44.99 pack of Pro V1s is now going to be $54.99.
Which I think they already are. I don't buy Pro V1, so I don't know what the going rate is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I want to say they're like $60 a dozen.
Yeah, so get ready for $75 a dozen then, if that's what you want.
So if I was an equipment company, I'd just be like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're good.
And I think that's what Acushnet did. I think they kind of came out and was like, this is absurd. We're not doing this. So it'll be interesting to see. The only reason, again, I saw it is because JT retweeted it. And I follow him. I don't think I follow Acushnet on Twitter, but I might. So I don't follow any of the manufacturers like Titleist or Strixon or Mizuno. But I'd be interested to see what they have to say. I would imagine for the reason you just said, they're against it. So it's the dumbest fucking thing ever. Hopefully they don't do it. And in more insufferable golf news, and as is tradition on this show, we've done the last few years, the Masters dinner menu, was released from Scottie Scheffler. So anyone that doesn't know, every year before the Masters begins, they have what's called the Champions Dinner, and the winner from the previous year gets to select the menu. Literally, whatever they want, Augusta will make. So naturally, people had fucking shit to say about Scottie Scheffler's menu. So I'll read it for you real quick. So the Masters Club dinner served in honor of Mr. Scottie Scheffler. To start out, we have cheeseburger sliders and firecracker shrimp. The soup
sounds good enough to me.
Yeah, sounds good. So the cheeseburger sliders are served Scottie style. I don't know what that means. And the firecracker shrimp is sweet Thai chili and sriracha mayo.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have the shrimp. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I'll eat the sliders. I'm good with both of those, actually. They both sound delicious. Next, we have a tortilla soup, right? It's got avocado, crispy blue tortilla strips, sour cream, cilantro, and lime. I mean,
it's soup. We're
both on record here. It's soup.
Soup sucks,
right? Like, yeah, it's whatever. It's fine. It's a soup.
I mean, I would skip soup in general.
I would probably skip the soup as well. Yeah. So then for dinner, we have the choice of a Texas ribeye steak or a blackened redfish, which comes with family style mac and cheese, jalapeno cream corn, fried Brussels sprouts, and seasoned fries. Both of those sound fucking delicious.
I got no issues. I'll get the ribeye.
Yeah, I will also go with the ribeye because anytime that's a choice, you pick it. And then for dessert, they have the warm chocolate chip skillet cookie, served with milk and cookies ice cream. Sounds fucking delicious to me.
I won't tolerate such a thing, but yeah, sounds fine.
So people on Twitter, again, so for anyone that doesn't know, Scottie Scheffler is from Texas. People on Twitter are like, where's the barbecue? Where's the ribs? Where's the Texas style barbecue? It's like, are you guys fucking for real?
I think Spieth did that.
Yeah, he did. I think he had ribs, and it was like a, it was like a smoke. Maybe he had brisket too. I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
And
I feel like Patrick Reed had something like fucking chicken fingers or mozzarella.
Yeah, I think didn't Patrick Reed do like cheeseburgers and French fries or something? Like I remember he had a fucking weird dinner.
I don't remember, but it was like right up his alley.
Yeah,
like something a child would eat.
But so someone goes Scottie, Texas Roadhouse Scheffler, right? Like, oh, okay, fuck you, right? Like I don't understand. I don't understand that. Right. And then other people are saying, oh, the menu has as much flair as Scottie. Okay, like what the fuck does that even supposed to mean? Right.
Yeah,
like
what was he supposed to do? Come out and give you Hideki Matsuyama's menu?
Yeah. Like he is a relatively boring dude from Texas. Like
he is.
He's a God-fearing Texan, right? Like he's just, that's what he is, right? He's very plain. But that's not a knock against him, right? That's who he is. Like, did you want him to come out and be like, oh, we're gonna get Wolfgang Puck to fucking design some crazy French style dish, and it's a Peking duck with the bone in and all that? Is that what you wanted from him? Like, he is who he is, right? Like, he's from Texas. He went with the ribeye. I don't get the hate for being like, oh, there's no ribs, or what's the barbecue here? Like, he's supposed to be from Texas. Blow me, right? Like,
do they not eat ribeyes in Texas? Do they not have cattle?
Yeah. You ever hear of a what do they call a big cut of a ribeye with the bone in? Like the cowboy steak, right? The cowboy cut. Like, pretty sure Massachusetts doesn't have cowboys.
That's only native to Wyoming. Sorry.
Yeah. When you hear cowboys, you think Texas, right?
So I did look it up. That is what Patrick Reed served. That it was like choice of salad. It was a ribeye. I think it was like generic sides and whatever the fuck for dessert.
Yeah.
Now the best response I saw, I think someone was like, "Oh, that looks pretty good," and someone was like, "Oh, that thing, like whatever it was," and then someone just tweeted back and just goes, "Win the Masters."
Yeah, that was Trent.
Oh, was it Trent?
Yeah. So Trent from Foreplay, someone was like ripping on Scottie's menu, and Trent replied and just goes, "Win the Masters."
Yeah, then you get to pick.
Yeah. It's like someone else, some fucking jabroni who like no blue check mark, no famous, no nothing. They just go, if I'm a past champ, I skip this. Well, guess what? You're not a past champ.
Like, yeah. Well, hey, luckily for all of them.
Yeah. They won't be in attendance.
And dumbass, you can get whatever you want. That's just his menu. You can order whatever you want.
Right.
That's how the Champions Dinner works. So when one of these guys from whatever the fuck country picks their traditional food and you go, I don't know what the fuck that is and I'm not eating it, then you order whatever it is you want. You want Texas barbecue, get it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Augusta National is probably one of the places because there are dining rooms. Bay Hill might be one, not sure. Where when you ask, can I see a menu? They say, no, you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you say anything?
All of your bacon and eggs.
And you say anything and they say, yes.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, we will make for you.
Now, I think what you thought I said was I want a lot of bacon and eggs. What I actually said was give me all of your bacon and eggs.
Yeah. I call this turf and turf.
A ribeye with a side of filet.
With a cigar and whiskey, because this is America.
Oh man. So yeah, fuck everyone when it comes to golf and people bitching and complaining about the dumbest shit. So
Yeah.
I think Scotty's menu is great.
It's fine.
Actually.
It's fine.
Aside from the soup, right? Like tortilla soup does
that's
nothing
my thing.
for me.
I would skip the soup. I would have the shrimp. I would skip the soup.
Mhm.
I would get the ribeye. I'd fill up on sides, and I wouldn't eat dessert because I won't tolerate it, and that's fine. I'm so beyond good with that.
Well, I mean, you could have the cookie part and just not eat the ice cream.
I will fill up on the ribeye and the sides, and I will not eat the dessert. Because even when there's dessert offered to me that's not fucking too much dairy, I still don't eat it.
Yeah.
Because I would rather eat regular food.
Fair. It's a fair point. All right. Well, for anyone that doesn't, you guys don't know this, but we're actually recording 2 episodes back to back here. So you want to wrap this one up, and then we can take a quick break and start our second episode.
So I'm going to preface this, which I have already spoken to Michaela about what I'm going to speak of. And I have told her, I am about to present, and you're going to workshop with me for anything I forgot, a list of wedding songs that should be banned at all weddings.
Yes.
Now, I understand that not all of these are, I am not submitting this to the band and saying you can't play any of these. I'm going to make a couple suggestions. I've already been vetoed on a couple suggestions. So this is just my opinion to songs that should never be played at a wedding. Despite, I'm not saying, but again, I am not saying that our wedding will have none of these, because that's not what this is. But it does coincide with us, figuring some of that stuff out. So right. I've already prefaced that with her. So you don't need to like listen to this and be like, "Oh, I heard you're not playing any of these songs at your wedding." No, it's not how it's going. In my opinion, in my strong opinion, these are songs that should not be played at a wedding. In no particular order. Anything by Journey.
That's a great one to start with.
Anything. Nothing.
Yep.
Number 2, Shout. Don't need to hear it. 50 fucking years later, don't need to hear it. It's not that good.
It's not.
Not to be undone. Twist and Shout, whatever that song is. Don't want to hear that either. Celebrate or Celebration or whatever the fuck that song is. Don't need that one either. No need.
Yep.
No need. Love Shack.
Oh my God.
Of which I have a personal vendetta against.
Yeah, that is the ultimate worst fucking song.
Well, I don't know. I think if you said it has to be so I said anything by Journey, Shout, Twist and Shout, Celebrate, Love Shack. If you said you have to have some of that, one of those, I mean, it's better than Journey, I think.
Yeah.
Like Journey does, because that's the thing. Not only does Journey not fit a wedding, when people play Don't Stop Believing, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this actually happens. Anything by Tom Petty should not exist at a wedding. I don't know if people do that, but...
Well, I mean, it's white people barbecue stuff, so...
Well, Tom Petty is esto facto white person barbecue music,
yeah.
So figure if there's a way, then that'll happen. I didn't know this was still an option, but like line dancing, like the electric slide Macarena chicken dance. Like,
nope, absolutely 1000%. Ban it. Burn it. Burn the tapes.
What about Cotton Eye Joe, though?
Nope. I hate it. Also hate it. I hate every single one of them. Dumbest things ever. And you know what? Also, it's not necessarily a line dance, but you can add it in that group is the YMCA.
Yes.
The Village People.
Which I hope people aren't still doing.
Yeah. I hope that village burns down with the people.
And then I got to add 2 because it's relevant to Massachusetts. Shipping Up to Boston and Sweet Caroline.
Oh, the worst. The worst. I'm glad you put Sweet Caroline on there. Song fucking sucks. That might actually be my most hated song of all time. Partially also because, one, because of everyone in fucking Boston loves it, right? They're like, oh, Sweet Caroline. Oh, it's awesome. We played at the Red Sox. Oh, but it's 7th inning stretch. Oh, Sweet Caroline. Let's all stand. Besides that, you fuck right off, right?
Does
like,
that song have anything to do with Boston?
No, it doesn't. All that is bullshit, right? The second part of that Neil Diamond can absolutely fucking suck down a shotgun because he's a pedophile. Because
I didn't know that.
I found out that he wrote that song about Caroline Kennedy when she was like 13. So that song is like Sweet Caroline is about Caroline Kennedy. And when that song came out, she was 13 years old. So
Sick, dude.
Neil Diamond can fucking jump off the Tobin for all I care. I doesn't like fuck you. Like I don't care. Like I saw this thing that someone obviously I found it on Twitter. And I went down the rabbit hole on it. Someone wrote this like big long thread this one time about why Neil Diamond was a piece of shit and he was like creeping on Caroline Kennedy and she was a child and all this stuff. And they were like, yeah, he's a pedophile. Fuck him. So now I'm all set, right? I already hated that song. I already thought it was fucking stupid. But now that I know that context behind it, fuck him. Like I said, I hope he fucking falls off the Tobin for all I give a shit. Meaningless, right? And to all the people that love it and celebrate it and sing it all the time, I hope you're fucking happy, right? Like you probably have no idea what the song is about, so like fine, I guess, right? But now that you do know what the song is about, if you continue to celebrate it, you can fuck you too, right? Like it doesn't matter. So we all have been pretty strong in my feelings for the 445 episodes of how I feel about people that do anything to children. So you can fuck right off. What else we got?
Oh, it's my list.
Oh, all right. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, White Wedding. That's overdone.
Yeah.
Billy Idol. Yeah. You can play literally any other Billy Idol song if you want. I don't dislike Billy Idol.
Well, you know
play
what?
White Wedding.
I would say no, because what the fuck are you supposed to do to it at a wedding?
Yeah, it's true.
If it's not,
you're supposed to air guitar it.
Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah. What else? Trying to think.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I've come up with.
Yeah. I just Googled like worst wedding songs. It's pretty great, actually.
And this doesn't include slow songs because obviously
Brown Eyed Girl, Van Morrison.
Ugh.
That's overplayed.
Yeah. I would say because if we were including like slow songs or like first dance songs, there is no need to play Aerosmith at your wedding.
Yeah, no. Staying Alive, the Bee Gees.
Ugh.
I don't need to, unless I have to perform CPR on someone. I don't need that song.
Yeah, I don't.
If anyone, hopefully someone out there got that joke if they've been through a CPR training class.
Yeah, that's like the right beat or whatever.
Yeah, that's you're supposed to follow that beat.
Makes me so mad.
Single Ladies by Beyonce. That song sucks. Yeah, I think that's what I got. I just Googled all those. So, yeah, those are the worst wedding songs ever.
I think that whole list should be banned.
Agreed. I'm 100% in agreement with you.
Now, again, I don't know if I can have my way on that one, but
yeah. All right. So what do I want to run with? My final thought is let's just continue to get angry about stuff because this has been a very angry episode. There was just announced that there is going to be a 5th John Wick movie. So if you know me, I love John Wick, right? The first one is the best one. They progressively get a little bit more goofy as they go on. And I like the movies mostly because it's like mindless action, right? Like we don't get like good action movies anymore. Like it just doesn't happen.
John Wick's my go-to on a plane.
Absolutely. It's like when we were younger, right? Like when we were growing up, like whatever, middle school, high school, and even before that, we had 300. We had
Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne. Die Hard was a little bit before. Die Hard was like the late 80s, I think.
Yeah, that was before us.
Lethal Weapon, I think, was in the 90s. It might have started in the late 80s, but carried through the 90s. We had these like great action movies, and we like don't really make them anymore, right? Like we don't get like pure like action, let's go do this thing. Like everything has to have like a love story or like this like deeper meaning. I'm trying to think of like the most recent like action movie I probably watched was Gray Man with Ryan Gosling, which was pretty good, right? With Chris Evans was the bad guy in it. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I thought it was entertaining, but like they had to sneak in some sort of like love part of it. Like gone are the days of like Rambo, right? And like,
Taken.
yeah, Taken, right? Where it's like, I just want to see a dude fuck shit up for 90 minutes and then like go about my day, right? Like again, 300. Like I used to watch 300 and then be like, I am ready to bench 300 fucking pounds, right? Like, let's go. Like I'll run through a wall. Like it was just gets the people going, right? We don't get those movies anymore. John Wick is the closest thing we get to that. So part of that is nostalgia. Part of that is I just like it. Part of that is like I just save the lovey-dovey bullshit for like, you know, a rom-com or something. Like if I want to watch a rom-com, I'll watch a rom-com. Like some of them are pretty good, right? Like Matthew McConaughey made a whole career for 25 years of his career doing great rom-coms. Like I'll go watch any one of those that came out during that time. Or what's that other one with Ryan Gosling? Crazy Stupid Love. Great rom-com. Good one. Awesome. Like it. I thoroughly enjoy it. But I love John Wick, right? It's a good series. Like I said, the second one and the third one is more goofy than the second, which is a little bit more, but some of that I think is done on purpose, like tongue in cheek. I forget which one it is, but obviously in the first movie, the Russian boss, right, talks about the story of John Wick killed a guy with a fucking pencil, and he goes, who does that? And then I forget whether it was the second or the third movie, but there's a fight scene where he kills two guys with a pencil. So it's like, that's what I mean. Like it's goofy, but like they do it on purpose. Like it's kind of actually funny. Like if you stop and think about it, again, awesome series. The fourth one is actually coming out next month or in May, within the next 2 months. I think it's either coming out in April or May.
Months. It might be coming out in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that could be it too. So John Wick 4 will be coming out pretty soon. So again, they announced that there will be a 5th John Wick movie. However, because I guess this is the world that we live in.
John Wick comes out on Thursday.
Oh, shit. All right. So that's pretty fucking sick. So John Wick 5 is not going to be called John Wick 5 because John Wick is actually not in it. Well, he is in it, but he's going to be a supporting character in it. The movie is going to be called Ballerina. And
yeah, I knew this.
It's going to be about the girl that's the assassin. And so in John Wick 3, when John Wick goes into the Belarusian woman, like the old lady, and hands her the cross and is like, you owe me, I'm part of this, whatever, like save me bullshit. There's a young woman like dancing on the stage. It's that woman who is an assassin that now they're going to do a movie about. And it's a movie that no one asked for, right? And with running the risk of sounding sexist, I think it's going to suck because no one wants it, right? No one asked for a female John Wick. And I don't think it's going to do well in the box office. I don't think people are going to be like running to be like, oh, I got to watch this movie about the ballerina where John Wick's going to be in it, but he's going to be in it for like a couple scenes or whatever. Like I think it's absolutely going to bomb. And I think people are going to take that, or the Hollywood people are going to take that and be like, see, just more evidence that people are misogynistic and no one cares about women and this is a great movie. Meanwhile, you take those same people like 6 months ago and ask them what they think about the John Wick series, and they probably would like, oh, it's gross. Oh, it's just action. There's no plot line. Oh, there's nothing to it. Like, oh, it's just things blowing up and he kills people. Like, I guarantee you. But now, though, you take those people now that there's a female lead in the movie, and they're like, oh, it's brilliant. I think it's Ana de Armas is gonna be the lead.
Is it?
Is it? Did I just
I thought
make
it was
that
gonna
up?
be I thought it was the girl that was on the stage.
No, it's a different girl.
Oh God. Okay.
I
mean, that's probably a good thing though. You probably want to get a name.
Yeah, it is Ana de Armas. So for anyone that doesn't know, she was the maid in Knives Out. She's been on a lot of stuff. She's pretty good, actually.
She was in the most recent Bond movie.
Yep, she was. She played.
She was in that movie
Monroe.
that fucking sucked. Yeah, the Marilyn Monroe movie was awful.
Yeah, I didn't see
real
that.
bad. Well, I didn't see it either, but
yeah,
it got fucking killed.
Yeah. Oh, she was also in The Gray Man. Look at that. Oh, that's right. She was like the love interest, like female lead in The Gray Man. That's funny.
The Nightman?
Yeah. So yeah, she's gonna be the ballerina, and I don't think it's gonna be any good, and I think it's gonna bomb. And like I said, I gave you the whole rundown of how it's gonna go. But those are the same people that probably hate John Wick.
Hopefully this movie is Shang-Chi and not Eternals.
Yeah. Yeah. So with John Wick 4 or the ballerina?
The ballerina.
Yeah.
Because there's no harm for me if the movie's good, right?
No. And that's the thing. I'm not saying I want it to suck. I want it to be good. Because I might I'm not going to watch it in the theater, but once it comes to streaming, I might watch it, right? Because
I could watch it on a plane.
I like John Wick, right? And I like all 3 movies, and I'll probably like the 4th one. So when this movie comes out, like, I'll probably watch it whenever it makes its way to streaming, right? Like, I don't want it to suck, but I think it's going to suck, and I don't think it's going to do well in the box office. So I don't know.
We'll see.
Call me a misogynist, I guess. Whatever. Fuck off. I'm better than Neil Diamond. So that's going to do it for us for this episode. Again, for us in our time on our timeline, we'll be back in like 5 minutes. For you guys, we'll see you guys on Monday. This is Thursday's episode. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe above, tell everybody you know about the show. Get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod, on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks, on Facebook at Sarcasm Speaks. The website, you can get us at sarcasmspeaks.com. You go to the merch store, buy some merch. You can go to grillyourassoff.com and use the promo code SarcasmPod to save 15% off your entire order every single time you check out. And for the time being, you can continue to go to mybookie.com. And even though I cashed out my account, and use the same promo code SarcasmPod to double your first deposit up to $1,000 over there. Hopefully not by the next episode, because the next episode for us is only in 5 minutes, but hopefully 2 episodes from now, we potentially have a new sponsor. I was not able to get it done in the last couple of days. I know I mentioned it in a previous episode, but stay tuned there. So until next time, good night, everybody.